Mukisa Kitui must now come and demonstrate he understands the job description.
Okay.
The thinking must begin now. It's about thinking. It's not just about shouting. It's not just about people you know or what. No. This thing requires serious thinking.
Okay.
If you don't think, you will not beat Ruto. The challenges of today are so enormous, so huge. Nations that survive are a nation that will be running knowledge-based economies, where every simple appointment, however small, you look around for nothing but the best.
Very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candid Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evans Okinyi. It's my pleasure to have you on board on yet another episode of this great show. I'm joined here by Professor Herman Manyora. Prof, how are you?
I'm good. Yes.
Let's look at what is actually taking place in the country, of course, taking all the way, looking at the united opposition and everything that they're actually doing as we gear towards the 2027 general elections. First of all, what is your honest opinion on the appointment of Mukisa Kitui as official spokesperson to the position? Of course, we saw Cleopas Malala kind of oppose this appointment, but then later on came on board and said, look, if the DCP party leader says he's good to go, then we can go with him.
There couldn't be a better choice than Mukisa Kitui for that job, because he brings a measure of seriousness, believability. Mukisa is well connected. He's an international figure. He has international connections. He has the requisite credibility. He has the intellectual muscle. And that outfit called the loyal opposition is going to need a man of that caliber. Because when they begin to look around and handle very sensitive and serious issues, matters like who do they back as a single candidate, it's not a small matter. To create the proper matrix requires people of the caliber of Mukisa Kitui. And anybody thinking they could have done better than Mukisa Kitui, they're actually daydreaming. There are going to be many other issues. What do you do to maximize on the number of elective seats you get? You can see already in Malaba they are competing.
Yes. You
can see in Mbera, I think they could also be competing or something like that. You need a brain that can handle that. And that Mukisa, they could not have gotten a better person than Kitui.
Yeah. What is the role of then the spokesperson in such kind of coalitions? Because there's a coalition of parties at the same time. If I listen to Cleopas Malala, clearly he says that according to him, this role should have been given to a younger politician, and therefore I wonder what his thinking would be, and what do you think would be the impact of giving such kind of a role to somebody who is actually young and maybe appealing to the younger generation?
I don't know what Malala thinks. I don't know how he arrives at the task. Before then you think of the best person to do the task. The task of the secretariat is not running around. It's figuring out. Figuring out. And I'll put my bet on Mukisa Kitui. He has what it takes to figure out. Because the matters before these guys are very complex. Arriving at a single candidate is not as easy as they think. Kenya has tried it. It has not worked. It has been very difficult. It took Raila to say Kibaki Tosha. With NASA, CORD, and Zimio, it wasn't always very easy. And how do you prove it wasn't easy? Even after Kalonzo had agreed to back Raila Odinga 3 times, 2 of them as running mate, Ukambani was still exposed. And you'll agree with me, there were MPs who are not with CORD, who are not with NASA,
Definitely.
who are not with Azimio. And there is not 1 or 2, more than that. Yeah? And Uhuru and later on Ruto were able to get serious numbers from Ukambani. That means that agreement was not arrived at in a very good way. So, even when you look at the Pentagon, it worked well. It is said Raila won the election. But if they had managed the coalition in a better way, I think they would have beaten Kibaki with more than 1 million votes. And Kibaki was not going to mess around with the elections. So this is not a simple matter ahead of them. It's a very complex issue. And therefore, Malala looking for a young boy is not football. No, they were not looking for somebody to play football. This is somebody to think out and figure out, because coalition building is not a small matter. To ask people to sacrifice their ambitions is not easy. It becomes even more of a nightmare to rope in the people. I may say, fine, I'm sacrificing my ambition to support you. How about my people? How do you manage my people's expectations and anger? And even rebellion? So I think Malala is out of order. Yes.
But then when you look at it in the other way, because at the center of these particular elections, or one constituency that is going to be very critical, is the so we call the young people here at the center. Do you think, because I'm looking at Malala's thinking, and it's like for him, if the spokesperson would be a younger person, then they would actually appeal more to the younger generation, and therefore would actually capitalize on getting that.
I don't blame Malala, but I would, those thinking like him, I would advise them to read a little psychology and try and find out how psychology works. Yes.
What do you mean?
Yeah, just that.
How does psychology work in this context?
How come women don't support their fellow women as easily as you might think? Who tells you the young people will listen to a young man or a young woman? Who tells you that? On the contrary, they will listen to the voice of an older person guiding them, so long as in guiding them, he's taking their interest into consideration. It works that way. I'm not a psychologist, but any psychologist will tell you, if they are really psychologists, not these paper psychologists. Yeah.
See, how comes women don't vote for women leaders?
Groups don't always listen to their own.
Somebody was also asking me the other time that if at all that is the case, then all the women of the country would have voted for Raila, and owing to the fact that Martha Karua was actually the
so it doesn't work the way. So Malala, I can understand. He doesn't have the experience. These things require some little experience and. Yeah.
But don't you think that it would be actually very prudent for this?
But if you got a good young man,
yes,
again, it's a good idea.
Aren't they good
with
young
the requisite
men?
education, intellectual capacity, networking and collection and connections, credibility, believability? Is it somebody, if he speaks, Kalonzo can listen? Is this somebody who can put these people in a room and tell them, gentlemen, you have given me this task, and I beg you to listen to me. Having looked at all the factors, and I'm about to go through all the factors with you, I and my team have arrived at a conclusion that one of you is going to be. So I want you to hear me out, and I believe you'll support our thinking. It can't just be a boy talking to these people just because he's young. It can't be just because you are young.
But you said if we get a good young man.
Yes, if there's a good young man.
Do we have a shortage of good young men?
No, in this I'm saying, where is Malala Angeleta Moja?
Okay.
I say, for example, Mimi Malala. It's not just a question of age. No. And we keep getting this thing wrong. It's not about age. It's not about an old man or a young man. There are certain things that can be done by persons of any age. So when you are looking for the competent person, we don't consider age. But there are certain things which it is preferable you look for an old man. Yet there are others where it will be preferable you look for a young man. You know, it can't be blankets. So in this particular case, I don't think it was a question of age.
Okay.
It was a question who was the best person that could be identified for that task. And Mukisa Kitui, to me, is the best person. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't mean there are other people who are not better than him. They are there, of course.
Okay. So
Malala should give us one. Then we advise the opposition. Malala has a point. Take Malala to be the one. Can you put Kina Kalonzo down or skize mambo yake? They will not. Maybe there's another person. Maybe even younger than Malala. And the old men will listen to him. Old women will listen to him.
Okay. So how then should the loyal opposition organize themselves in a way such that, in as much as we are still seeing the same old faces, old guards, let me say so, in this particular outfit, how then can they organize themselves such that they still do not lose the contact with the younger generation, whom they are so much banking on at this particular moment?
That's why Mukisa Kitui must now come and demonstrate he understands the job description.
Okay.
The thinking must begin now. It's about thinking. It's not just about shouting. It's not just about people you know or what. No. This thing requires serious thinking.
Okay.
If you don't think, you will not beat Ruto. The opposition must now begin serious thinking. It's not just a question of saying Kalonzo Musyoka. That won't take them. Ruto will beat them badly. I know they don't like to hear that. But by nature, I'm always a critic. I'm always questioning. I'm always raising issues with matters. Many people get annoyed with me for that. But that's my nature. And I can see the job should now start. And Mukisa is the right person to spearhead that job. He must be allowed to create a serious secretariat of men and women with the capacity to think. Underline the word, think. I've been in these things. You sit in a room and you wonder, why is this man here? Why is this lady here? What are they doing in this room? This is not their place. As you go outside there and just shout, this is a place for thinking, but nobody in that room is capable of thinking. Yeah, so this is the time for Mukisa Kitui to assemble a team of men and women who understand the situation in the country, who are capable of thinking. Yes. Not just, Kalonzo Musyoka must put somebody in that secretariat. Matiang'i must nominate somebody to be in the secretariat. Who else is there? Wamalo must. That's nonsense. That's how they lose it. I saw it with NASA. It can't work like that. Mukisa Kitui must be given the mandate, the power, the authority, and what he requires to do his job. And top on the list, he must be allowed to nominate men and women who can think when they sit down. Not men and women representing interests. No, those ones can come later. Another tier. But Mukisa's tier will be a thinking tier. To make things work. To figure out, how do we move this? How do you do this? How do you handle this? How do you then arrive at a presidential candidate? What are the challenges? What are the dangers? Why? How come Mukisa looks the Nani Matiang'i is the best if you consider these factors? But the dangers of giving him, you lose this constituency. Look, if we think the leading lights, if you leave Gachagua out, is Kalonzo and Matiang'i. So if we pair them, where are we leaving the Luyas? Are they not going to be up for grabs by Ruto? So a brain that can figure out and think with a team. But you see, politicians in this country, useless. That's why even when they win, I don't have much hope in them, because they will not even constitute a cabinet. It will be a system of reward. The country where it is today, young man, requires the best brains you can get as a country, the best minds to get out of the challenges of modern day. The global economic order is so challenging that Any nation, any country that doesn't put forward its best foot will never survive. It's not going to survive. And you can see all this joblessness. If you just put anybody in the cabinet and make just about anybody principal secretary, and anybody this and the other, and you are pushing 1 million plus young men into the job market who have finished education. I've said it before. Nobody's going to work in this city in another 5 years. You can't. You see now, what is the debate about Nairobi today? What is it about?
Yes, we're seeing about the insecurity.
Yes. And the ain't seen nothing yet. We have seen nothing about security in Nairobi. This is just a joke. It is coming. And it's coming in a big way. I'm sorry to tell you, people are going to get raped in Nairobi town, in the main streets during the day. People are going to be emptying your pockets as everybody just passing. In the main streets, not those dark alleys, and not at night. Daytime. Kenyatta Avenue, Moi Avenue, those main streets, the proper CBD. Watu wanakusimamisha wanatoa kila kitu unaenda. Wanakuambia tumekuru. That's where we are headed. You cannot mitigate those challenges with just about anybody in the cabinet. I don't know whether you're getting it.
I get you.
So, beginning with the opposition, with the Mukisa Kitui, it's a first, very important first step. At least they recognize the importance of brains and what mind you need for this task. The next step, I challenge Kalonzo Musyoka. Asitume Wakamba pale ati wakae na Mukisa Kitui. Hapana. Hapana. Atienda sikiza mambo yangu huko. You just go and warm the seat. I've been in those committees, I know. You wonder why is this person here. He doesn't have the capacity to be in an engagement of this magnitude. He doesn't at all. So they should let Mukisa Kitui now assemble a team. Of course, they will come in, approve, add 1 or 2 here and there to feel secure. You know, these insecurities and the trust deficits, they must be catered for. But the main team should be assembled by Mukisa Kitui. That will also convince me that if these guys took over power, the men and women they will assemble to run this country will not be the usual suspects. The usual idiots they pick because they are children, they are girlfriends, they are G what. Because this country, like any other country today in the world, requires the best minds. The challenges of today are so enormous, so huge. Nations that survive are a nation that will be running knowledge-based economies, where every simple appointment, however small, you look around for nothing but the best. Nothing but
the best.
So starting with Mukisa Kitui, that is a good thing. They should now allow him to assemble a team of men and women who will help them. And this is the same team led by Mukisa Kitui that will also help them. In the event they form government, they win the elections. Mukisa Kitui and his team will also be part and parcel of the engine that will help them arrive at a cabinet and other government appointments, as it is done elsewhere in the world. It's not just a question of plucking anybody because they were shouting your name during elections, no.
So in a tight race as this one here, where every move actually counts, you can give a thumbs up to the opposition right now that at least on the appointment of Mukisa Kitui as their spokesperson, on the right track.
That's the first step with it. And the first steps are very important. They have made the right choice. They are on the way of building confidence. The next step is to allow him to work. Yes.
And build a formidable team that will face over President William Ruto. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been a conversation here with Professor Herman Manyora. Weigh in and tell us what you think. Allow me to stop for now till we have this conversation again. Have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.